And my cats are
Fussy?
jumping all over me. It's public, but there's
Fussy?
it's the parents can be fussy. The administration is wonderful. So,
Are they the kind of parents who care about the kid's grade most of all, or are they the kind of parents who are like, you're not doing enough writing, or you're not doing enough you need you to do more angles and less whatever the alternative is in geometry?
it's a mix, but it's usually the ones that are concerned about their kids, not really telling me what to do. They're just parents that I don't want to disappoint because it's a very it's the public school, but it's the most private of the public schools, if that makes
It's
sense.
charter.
There's a lot of influential people who send their kids to this particular public school. So there's some parents that intimidate me.
Interesting. I know the population. I've worked at a private school, which wasn't particularly fancy, but I get the. I mean, it's parents are more entitled when they're at a private school because they're paying for it, and they're getting a very similar product, at least in name, right? So it's like you can
Yeah.
get geometry class in bad school, good school, and everything in between. So it's like they feel like they can nitpick to make sure that the product they're getting is better, you know?
I mean, I love it. I do have amazing parents, and most of them are really supportive. And the more challenging ones, it's pretty much just let them whine, let them get it out of their system, and then try to find a solution that works.
Do you fight hard against people who are trying to get grades changed? Like if parents come in and go, "Look, now I don't want Johnny to get a B, and you need to give him an A." Do you fight hard against that?
No,
You just
I
go,
don't have that problem.
"Oh, you don't have that problem."
Not, no, I rarely have that problem. I have this last parent that came in tonight, his kid has a D, and she's in the pre-AP class, which she's never she was in a private school before, and the public school I teach at is more challenging than the private school. And so she just doesn't really have any concept. Like, she cares about her grade, but she has no clue how to show that. She doesn't know how to study. She needs somebody to model that for her. Like, this is what studying looks like. She has no clue. In
What
her
type?
private school, she
What
didn't
type
have
do you
to
think she
explain
is?
much. Huh?
What
What's
type?
that?
What type do you think she is?
I don't know. She hasn't spoken to me enough. I haven't interacted with her. Couldn't tell you. It's hard in the first quarter for me to type kids. Um, but her dad wasn't defending her. He was showing how much he loved and cared for her, but it, I don't know. I guess I'm lucky. Most parents are on my side, but I think it's because I make good arguments.
I think it's because you make good arguments in ways they can accept as well. Because that's the trick INFJs have that put them in advantage in a lot of different contexts where there's disputes going on. ENTP dispute settlement is fine for certain contexts. INFJ dispute settlement is much preferable for certain contexts where you really ought to be concerned about the actual outcome more than the dotted i's and crossed t's of the reasonings, because it's like I suspect a lot of those parents leave feeling, I mean, had their bad feelings changed. Whereas if they leave me and there was some sort of dispute, they probably leave me feeling as though they lost that fight, which is my point is like, well, you should lose that fight because you're wrong. But the point is, it's not actually as practical an outcome as I think both people walking away happy.
Well, when a parent comes to you, they're frustrated. Internally, they might not express it, but they might feel like they're failing their kid. Um, they want to feel like they're heard. If they feel like a teacher or an administrator is dismissing them, that just makes them feel worse. They could be completely in the wrong, but I have to just let them get it out of their system. And most of the time, if I just let them get it out of their system, then I've got a parent who's vulnerable. And then I try to tell them, we want your child to be successful. So we have to talk about, and it just goes into the details of that particular child.
Right.
But it seems like the best way to start it, in my experience, is let them get it out of their system because they're scared to talk to teachers
Right.
too.
I mean, I don't have those kind of meetings anymore. But when I used to, I think by the end I probably dealt with them better than I did at the beginning a little bit. I remember having a particularly difficult parent. The kid's name was Chachi. That's what everybody called him anyway. And his mom, Chachi's mom, was famously difficult. Uh, but for her, I don't think. Usually, parents left the meetings pretty satisfied with me overall. They at least understood that if I had a position, it was. They were convinced that it was for strongly held reasons, and often that can be enough. Uh,
Well,
but
you're good at making arguments
but
as
a lot
well.
of times that's true. But a lot of times it's funny, you basically say the reason I don't have problems with them is because I make good arguments. I say the reason I don't have problems with them when I didn't have problems, and now it's a different setup. But back then was because I sold them on the fact that I was passionate about what I did and that I wanted. They were convinced of my effort and intention. So it's like I took an opposite approach. Well, if I'm dealing with parents, I don't want to have to. I just want them to go away. Basically, is what my thought was, and so I just
Yeah,
sort of,
me too. I don't really, I don't like these, interactions. Hi, Taylor. Um, I don't. Even after I've been teaching 9 years, and after 9 years, it's like I still get anxious because I have no idea what's gonna walk in that door. Um,
right.
I just don't know.
And some parents come in looking for a fight, like I might sometimes. If I thought I might not know anything about you really, but I've heard a couple stories from Delilah. I might come in itching for a fight, and that would be.
Yeah,
But then I know how it would play out. I'd come in kind of looking to see if you were going to give me a fight. I don't think you would give me that feedback right away, and so then I'd probably simmer down and be like, "All right, well, what's really happening?"
yeah.
Since we're
Like
not
if
fighting,
you
actually let's talk like human beings then. Since we're not going to fight.
exactly. I mean, that the parent just has no clue what they're gonna get. So they could come in combative, they can come in full of emotion, and I think it's important that they spit that out and get it out of the way first. I mean, I'm not
That's
going to lose
smart,
my job. I've
smart,
never
wise.
lost my job.
I have.
Uh, but
Quick question. Is that Zach at the bottom? Zach? Or is that a different Zach?
That's a different Zach. That's
Okay.
Zach Holt, maybe, or Zach. It's not Zach Attack. Who is it? Zach.
It's some off-brand Zach.
It's an
I was hoping
off-brand
for the
Zach.
name
Sorry,
brand.
off-brand
I was
Zach.
yeah, I was hoping for the name brand.
Well, that's interesting, light bulb. There's interesting stories about school and education and stuff. Um, and do you feel sometimes as though you're not really like? Do you are you satisfied with the good you're doing? And if so, is it primarily on a spiritual level? Like I feel a lot of the good that I do is just being with the kids, caring about them, doing shit that matters with them, stuff like that. That's not really anything super concrete. Or do you feel as though, I mean, do you believe in geometry as a use of time for students?
Yeah, because it's teaching them deductive reasoning with the use of shapes. And um, well, to go back to your first thing, in the when I first started teaching, my goal was a perfectionist to accomplish all of the standards that were set that I was supposed to. And as I get older, now I kind of give a middle finger to the standards, even though I still do them, but I give them a middle finger in the way I change things up. So if I have a bunch of students who come from in one class who come from difficult backgrounds, I'm not going to go too deep into the content because they need an adult that cares about them. So I was talking in the other room how today I have one class that is grade level geometry, but they're all the lower level ones. It's just undocumented that it's the lower scoring ones that are in this class. And the regular grade level class, I anticipated that my low levels were not going to get what we were doing. It was going to be too much concepts. So I modified it in between classes, which is something that you learn to do on the fly after years of teaching. So the reason why I say all that is you're asking me what's the point of all this? Or I guess like what do I get out of it? I
Yeah,
want the child to feel like they're successful. And if I have to change where that bar is for success, now that I'm so far into it, I'm going to do it. And I don't give a shit what anybody tells me. I need that child to feel successful and to have confidence in what
it
they're learning.
makes a big difference in their lives
Well, I mean,
when
yeah,
they're
I mean,
confident and feel as though they are succeeding in shit. Obviously, they're vastly more motivated to do it.
so that's on the lower end, of course. And then when I get my really gifted ones, well, I get pissed when they score hundreds on everything. So I'm like, I'm not challenging you enough. We got to do more. And they roll their eyes.
Um,
But I forgot what your second question was.
oh well, I mean, basically, you gave me what I was fishing for there, which was uh, a metaphysical framework through which you understand your job, right? That because some teachers will say, I've got to teach this Spanish really well because I need those kids to be able to speak Spanish because it's going to be useful to them when they're adults. That might be one sort of justification for, uh, teaching Spanish. And so, the kind of justification a teacher gives for why their job is meaningful or worthwhile explains a lot about who they are and their type, I think. It relates a lot to it.
Oh, yeah, definitely. That's why I was getting Unify in my court. He was bashing my teaching, and then I put him in his place.
How is he
And,
bashing it? What was he saying?
oh, I think he said like I don't remember. Ken, do you remember what Unify was typing when he was bashing me?
He was bashing you.
Well, in a
Um,
playful way.
He said, "Don't try to put your INFJ hey hey down my throat."
No, 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 no,
no.
nothing
He
like
he, he
that.
said. I think he was saying something, and she responded with like, "No. You get an F." And then he's like, "Yes, that means I get to stay
No,
in the
it was
chair."
before
Oh,
that.
something
He
else. Was that?
basically he was kind of saying that I was like the worst teacher ever and all that stuff. And then I was like, actually no, because I've had an INTP and I didn't make him do all of the work. I let him do whatever the fuck he wanted to do.
She was like, once I understand that you have a
Ebonics?
mastery of the coursework that I'd let you. What? Me?
No,
Uh,
Taylor. We can't hear Taylor. He's talking, but
okay.
I couldn't hear him.
Did I just, can you hear this?
A
Yeah.
little bit. Yeah.
I just missed Ken Ebonics. Did I walk out of the room before Ken started doing Ebonics?
That was
What?
me, I think.
What's Ebonics?
But see, that wasn't Ebonics. That was one of the many accents that I do when doing whenever I'm doing dialogue. I tend to try to change the voice because it will um, it'll make it distinct that I'm not me saying those words. Problem in this instance, Unify actually is African American or self-identifies as such to the extent those things are real. It didn't occur to me until I was well into the voice that that might be perceived as something. But no, I don't think it would be, and I don't even think your comment would have made it such. Except, well, since we're
I really,
halfway there, might as well finish the job.
I really didn't hear it, so I could have missed something great. You know,
Oh, it was great. Like everything, Taylor. Like, every word, pure
you
gold.
raised the bar for greatness in YouTube content, I think, by tormenting Asians.
Or, you like those videos? I'm so happy to hear you say that. Abe seems to like them as well. I think they're great, exciting content, but I can imagine that other people, I would find them stressful to watch.
Speaking of using different voices and whatnot, here soon. Right now, I'm uploading my first character video because Lightbulb and JC were wanting me to do it. So first one's going to be named Sebastian Spalding.
Okay,
It's the first
cool.
guy.
So, at some point, when some of your characters can meet some of mine, we have to sit down and have a conversation. Maybe you could sit down with Sassy Southern Sassafras if you'd like, or you could sit down with International Delight, or who. So what? Spalding? What? What's his name?
Sebastian Spalding.
I see. And what sort of character is he? What does he have a job?
I don't think you
He's
hear
kind of
it.
he's kind of a fourth wall character. The video actually starts instead of cropping it out. The video starts with me breaking character and laughing immediately, and then it ends with me laughing. But in between, it's just Sebastian Spalding is really just a voice that host Ken uses when he's trying to convey certain inner musings. And I just talk about something. I talk about how I've never been to Denny's, but I've been to Waffle House, and then it devolves from there.
It's your INFJ slowdown voice. Okay, and then like the other people in the room go. "Meow." I gotta pee. I'm
Yeah.
gonna turn down the mic and turn
No.
up the speakers.
I did that earlier.
You peed?
Well,
Good
the
job.
speakers, yeah, I hadn't turned on anything yet. I was multitasking yet. You know, light bulb with your camera always off, always peeing.
Sigh.
Did you just
My
say
camera. Yeah, I did. Um, it's because I'm in bed and I don't want to put myself on camera when I'm lying in bed. I think that's weird.
I think you're weird for not wanting to show yourself in bed. Not,
Have you seen
What?
okay, so the video's up.
Bo?
I still didn't hear you.
Bo.
Oh,
Bo.
yeah, doesn't Bo lie in his bed?
And kind of rocks back and forth over you.
I don't know. I just think it's not for me. So, Ken, how did the other room end up? Because I couldn't get back in.
Oh, it's dead.
Um,
I talked to Carolyn for a bit more, then she went to bed and no one else was talking. So,
okay.
yeah.
Well, I need to go to bed soon anyway. I'm just being
But
defiant.
but you're like you don't understand, Light Bulb. You're
Right.
like therapy in a way because you're helping me undo this aggression I have towards the teacher form of the man. You know what I'm saying? This like
I
teacher
know,
authority that I've hated
but
for
I
so many years of my life.
I did teacher conferences until 7:30 tonight.
All right, well then go to bed and you
No, because
gotta.
I'm being defiant. I had to listen to everybody's shit, which is my job. I mean, I like doing it, but I
Not
always
here.
get
No, you don't.
I do like it. I just get defiant when I leave because I want to have different conversations to cancel it all out. And you guys are entertaining.
Try.
I'm back. It was intense. Hi, Abe.
Oh, it's Abe. Oh God, is he gonna start opening stuff? Is that what he is? Abe is like a living shitty ASMR channel. Abe's like, what's that? Are you talking? Are
Oh,
you talking
stop
about
it.
something?
Hey, what do you think about all this nutritious cup of noodles?
Is that ramen? Yeah.
No.
Hey,
It's
Sebastian Spaulding
it's
muses about
doll
Waffle
hair.
House. Sebastian Spaulding muses about Waffle House is up. It's up,
Like
people.
if I didn't have to go to work in a few hours, I'd be like, "Hey, let's all go to Taco Bell."
Bye, Abraham.
See, if only we were local, we could do that.
I'm going to go get food at some point here pretty soon. I'm going to be checking out within, I don't know, as soon as, I just can't, I promise I just keep going. It's like I just go do something else on this computer and then I'm also in the middle of some other thing and, you know.
It's hard as fuck to get out of that loop of just little tiny things that you do before you do something.
Right. Yeah, it's like the pre-work collapse into a puddle phenomenon. But I want to do this task, but first I should do this. But in order to do this, I need to move that. In order to move that, I need to do this. And you're just like, ah.
It's like anxiety about actually doing something.
Yeah,
This stuff's not supposed to be here.
that's all in DOMs, don't you think?
Yeah.
I don't know about
I
NI DOMs. I think they tend to hum and haw for different reasons.
I love in the 3.0, or maybe not the 0.3 version of the um, PDF file maker bro put up on the different charges of the socionics functions and all that stuff. For negative TE null, he prescribed it as lazily, oh shoot, what was the word? It was like lazily whimper. Like the negative TE, like I'm not going to plan through the, just sort of like nullification of the plan. It's just,
I think this is negative T.
uh.
You look at something and you go, ugh. Oh.
And there's
I'm like, dude, lazily whimper, that describes 50% of my life.
if you actually start doing something, you're not available if cool shit starts to happen.
That's
Find
a
yourself in a
that's a
No,
good
I don't
that's a
have
good
that. I
T-shirt
don't have
there,
that.
right there, Taylor. That's a good T-shirt. That'd be good for because I've been thinking about what do you put for under seventh slot SE, and I've thought of all these various things that say like don't expect much or action doesn't come naturally or something like that. But um, I actually like that too. Even though that's so much, it's like INTP aspirational, wishful thinking that delays them from accomplishing things. Good way to put it. I gotta see what's
It's
going
like,
on in this fucking other
it's
room
like,
too.
how can I loose cannon if I'm already going pew pew? Wow.
How can you
I'm
lose
just
more?
in defiant mode right now.
You're still
I don't
awake.
want to do what I'm supposed to do because
That's just like
I don't want to do
just
it.
A to B.
Do you have Adderall for the morning?
I don't take Adderall.
Well, there's the problem. It wouldn't be such a big deal if you had a couple of Addies in the morning. You'd just be like, well, I get 1 or 2 hours, no big deal.
Can you take some
I
uppers in the
take
morning and then take some
Vitamin. I don't
downers?
need Adderall.
You think that INFJs would be good on stimulants for more than a few hours?
I don't
Uh,
know. I'd have to try it out.
After more than a
it,
few.
it,
Why do you think I stick
they,
to caffeine? It's because it kicks itself off at a certain period. If I was on Adderall, I would be both Jesus and Satan.
they go a little overboard. But if they don't, if they,
I've already got that title.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a Satan.
No. I'm saying I'd have to be on drugs in order to enter into your territory. You've already got it.
I'm just Jesus Satan.
Okay. Well, then I'd be a 2 on Adderall. You can't have it on yourself.
Bulletproof
Or if
coffee.
you want it all by yourself,
Coffee
you
is
got to
not a
fight for it.
stimulant.
I'm not gonna.
Coffee is not.
Oh,
Coffee's something else. It's like something dumb.
Dr. Nutella. Has anyone tried bulletproof coffee? That's what he said.
Coffee doesn't have, I mean, coffee can help me get shit done, but I don't know. I'm gonna get what I need to
Quit
do
beating
done. I'm
around the
just gonna
bush,
be
Dr.
defiant right
Nutella.
now.
You don't need bulletproof coffee, Nutella. What you need is probably to eat healthy, exercise, and then, fucking
Yeah, all that sounds
proper
boring.
schedule. Yeah, right. It sounds
But
boring because that's what
it's-
you need to do.
The exercise part's boring. The eating healthy part's simple. You know where the drive-thru is. You know where McDonald's is. You know how to get there. It's not that difficult. All right. And then start again the always open meetings. I don't know what the fuck's wrong with it, but I've got to start. I got to figure out what Citrix, tell Citrix to fix this shit. Because they're reading it as it's got 100 people in there. It obviously doesn't have 100 people in there. So, I don't know. I think it needs to be started and restopped periodically, or else it fucks with their system in some way.
You think the bot, okay, do you think the bot could be the one that's multiplying it because it goes out and it comes back in, goes out, comes back in? Could that be driving it up?
Well, I mean, that could potentially be driving up the numbers, but it shouldn't count them as distinct people. And regardless,
The way it's coded, it might not, how many I mean, do people think to put a bot in a go-to meeting? Is that normal practice?
no, I mean, as far as I know, this is the first thing like this, as far as I know.
I mean, I'm sure somebody else may have done this too, but the
I would
bot
think so
could
as
be
well.
affecting.
But if you think about the whole thing, what it is, it's kind of it's a combination of 3 or 4 distinct things that make the whole, I think, fairly unique. I mean, not fairly unique. I think it's unique, but that doesn't mean it's going to be successful. And I understand your hesitancy towards making claims like that. Everything's been done before. Everybody's done that. I understand all that, but this has, because the only way that you can make this work, even, you have to already have a community in place, or else it won't work, right?
Mhm.
So that's why I think it's probably not existent. A room that's always open where people can random people come in and talk, and it automatically posts videos to YouTube on a channel called TwFP Raw. I think that is not anything like that.
Did you get your house cleaned?
Yeah, I hired the day laborers, and they moved all the shit out, and they packed it all neat and tidy in the garage as best they could.
He made a song about it.
Your background lines are more even to each other than is.
Yeah, I had the house tilted about this much up from the ground. Because
Oh,
before it
we
was
could
kind
have
of
done a
slanted.
geometry project on that.
I love it. Very
I can't.
intuitive.
Yeah, so I think I fucked up the. Always open room, so that's not always open anymore. That's what I think.
It's always closed.
So Tiffany will have to fix it. I need to get that thing so I can fix it from here too.
Do
But
you want that kind of responsibility, though?
no, I don't want the
Really?
responsibility. What I do want though is if it's as simple as relaunch this, and he's like right now, Tiffany is fast asleep. It's 4 in the morning. Not that it needs to be open right now. I mean, it's not like the end of the world if it's not. But if it has significant drop times, that hurts, you know? It hurts because people lose faith in it.
You need to keep the faith. It's like Santa Claus. You need to believe.
Like when
Otherwise, Tim Allen can't deliver presents. Or I think I'm mixing movies.
Do you guys want to do a hardcore topic video? You guys want to be hardcore?
Let's talk about topics. This episode on Talking with Famous People, we tackle the topic of topics.
Oh, stop.